I'm Roger Weiland. Welcome back to Big Board Sports Day before Thanksgiving. A lot of football coming up tomorrow. Minnesota, Detroit, Washington, Dallas, Pittsburgh, and Indy. John Clayton joins us as promised from ESPN Radio. Good morning, John.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, man. Thanks for a few minutes. Hey, I want to start with the Jets here real quick. What's your mindset on Todd Bowles' decision to go with Ryan Fitzpatrick at quarterback? Is it all just about winning the games? Is it about his job security, Todd Bowles? Because to me, Fitz isn't going to be the guy next year. They probably should let somebody else see what they can do.
Yeah, but if he's not ready, he's not ready. And I don't see Bryce Petty as being ready. And so if that's the case, it's rushing it. And in this way, I kind of side with Todd. Now, it's a different story, if he was closer to being ready. But you saw in the first game, he just didn't look there. And so if he's not there, what's going to change by putting him out there? Because all you do, for the most part, is put him out for failure. And then what you do with a veteran team like that, you do lose a little bit in the locker room because, you're thinking, you're worried more about the future than the present. You've got so many guys 30 years and older on that team, and they're realizing, wait a second, we're going to be wiped out at the end of the season, so they may not give the full effort. And so even though the idea is to develop quarterbacks, well, if the quarterback's not ready, you don't put him out there. I go with Todd on this one.
John, do you think Todd's job's in jeopardy here?
I would hope not. Like any, it's a bottom-line business, and, of course, the bottom line is it's been a horrible season, and at the moment it looks like going to be drafting in the top 5. But what I thought the first year was that by getting the veteran players they got, particularly those in the secondary, it allowed Todd to get a standard out there that he wanted for this team. Well, the unfortunate part is the team got old fast. That's the gamble you take. You get the coach established the first year, and then you get the team out there, and, they finished the season with 11 players 30 years old or older, and that's not a good sign because it could go either way, and it went the bad way. They were thinking tougher schedule, maybe get to 9 wins, 10 wins with this group, but then if the guys look old and slow, which they have for the most part this year, then all of a sudden you get to what might be a 4, 5, or 6 win season.
John Clayton with us from ESPN. John, number one fan base in Albany, Giants. If they trained here for 16 years. How about your take on this Giants team where they stand right now going into Week 12? Should be a win this week. They play the 0-11 Browns in Cleveland. But does this have the look as the Giants have a look as a Super Bowl contender?
Super Bowl contender, no. I guess you could say there's so few Super Bowl contenders. They're going to be in the mix. But the two teams that have established themselves, at least in the NFC, are Dallas. And, they're still beatable. They're still a team that can be beat, where Seattle, I think, is quietly emerging as the team to beat. They may go 1 or number 2. But I think what you're seeing emerging is that there's 3 teams coming out of 2 divisions each that are going to be in the playoffs, and we'll see where it goes. Dallas will get more than likely a 1 or 2 seed. Giants will get a wild card. Looks like the Redskins could get a wild card, and you got 3 teams in the AFC West. And so when you have that, I guess you could say Super Bowl contender. But I'm not sold yet that the defense, though improved by giving up maybe a touchdown less per game, is still going to be great in the playoffs against great quarterbacks. What I am seeing, it's a much improved team. The thing that's concerning right now is they have not been as good on offense as I expected. I expected a 26, 27-point-a-game offense, just like what they had last year. This hasn't happened this year, so I think that could catch up to them in the end.
John, let me jump in here and ask a question on behalf of the long-suffering Buffalo Bills fans here in New York State. The Bills looked really good in Seattle before the bye, and unfortunately they got Seattle's best punch as well. And then they go to Cincinnati following the bye and get a big victory. Is this the year? Is this finally the year that the Buffalo Bills snap the longest playoff drought in American professional sports?
Unfortunately, no. And the reason being is that they can't catch enough wins to catch either Kansas City, Oakland, or Denver. Because it's going to take 10 or 11 wins to make the playoffs, and then you have to have the right tiebreakers. And I don't envision the Bills being able to do that. It's an improved team. You knew with the schedule it was going to be a lot tougher than last year, where last year the schedule was an easy schedule. This was a tougher schedule. And so even if the team played better, which they have, it's not going to be one that I think they could have pulled 10 wins out. So this isn't going to be the season for the playoffs, but I think it's a season that's encouraging because I think it's resolved a couple issues. Number one, I think that Tyrod Taylor is the quarterback. I think they need to stand behind him, let him complete that contract that they gave him on the extension, and I think it's resolved that Rex Ryan's a good enough coach to get another year, and where you thought going in he was going to be changed. So I think that's the positive thing. The unfortunate thing, the playoff streak not happening continues.
John Clayton, ESPN Radio, with us here on Big Board Sports. John, is there a clear-cut best team right now?
Honestly, well, two of them. I mean, whether it's New England or whether it's Seattle. Seattle's fighting some injuries. New England's fighting, I guess you could say, themselves right now because they're going through some defensive changes that are kind of puzzling. But, I mean, you can see that New England's pretty well set, and they show the confidence that they're going to be the number one seed. And Seattle's just trying to get through a few injuries and get Russell Wilson healthier, and they should establish themselves. Where Pittsburgh, that was a team I thought could go to the Super Bowl, but their defense has let them down. Some injuries have let them down, and right now it looks like they may win the division with an 8-8 record, and that still might not happen. So honestly, it's pretty well set that New England's going to be in the championship game, and somehow, some way, Seattle's going to be in a championship game.
Are you surprised the Raiders are this good?
Yeah, because I didn't think their defense still isn't that good. I think the record has broken perfectly for them, and it's really allowed them to win a lot of games that I didn't think they can win. But when you have a quarterback as good as Derek Carr, you can get into the fourth quarter, even though your defense may be giving up a lot of points, and win these football games. And so I thought they were going to be a wild card team, which they still might be, but I didn't think they were going to be able to cash in and get over 10 wins this season. I just give Jack Del Rio credit. I give Reggie McKenzie, their general manager, credit for getting good players. And next year, I mean, they can even add to the defense and get even better.
John, when I told a handful of my friends that we were going to have you on, they all wanted me to ask you about the same thing. And it's not football related. I'm sure you've got this question asked 1,000 different ways by 1,000 different people. And I'm sure you know where I'm going with this. The commercial.
No, I'm not going to be in the Trump administration. I've been invited to the Trump Tower.
No, it's a commercial. It's probably the most famous commercial that ESPN has put out in a decade. It features you. It's hilarious. But I know some actors over the years don't like it when they keep on getting asked about one role. They're like, yeah, I do other things other than that one role. Has this been nothing but a blessing to you, or through the years do you get a little bit exhausted with it?
No, it's been a blessing. I mean, first off, it was so popular and so many people remember it, you're just flattered by that. And secondly, just to be able to have the hair that I was able to have for that commercial was a blast. I mean, it was a production where 65 people were involved in it. It was, from the advertising standpoint, it was a great success. And I'm humbled by just how great it's gone. So, no, I love it.
Hey, John, one more from me. I'll let you go. Thanksgiving tomorrow. Do you like the football lineup? What do you think the best game of the day? We got Minnesota at Detroit, Washington at Dallas, maybe a little upset there with this Redskins team, and then Pittsburgh and Indianapolis. Look like three pretty good games tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, it really weakens the weekend schedule because, I mean, now you're taking some primetime players and primetime teams off the map, and we'll see how the ratings go for the weekend. But I think it's going to be a great rating for Thanksgiving. I kind of like that Detroit-Minnesota game because I'm still mystified where Minnesota is on offense. Detroit's been the comeback special of the year. I mean, 6 wins, all with fourth-quarter comebacks, and Matthew Stafford getting better and better. And we'll see because, it's still set up that Detroit may have the best chance to win that division because they've got 3 division road games in the last 6 weeks of the season. We'll see if they win this one. I think they can win the division, and we'll see if Minnesota will still be able to stay there for a wild card, which they want. I mean, I think that's the most important game because the loser of that game may be in a tough spot.
And you think the Dallas Cowboys? I mean, 9 straight here after losing to the Giants. I mean, they've been I think a little bit better than advertised for sure. But that offensive line, the running game, and then Prescott just doing his thing back there. They are legit, aren't they?
They are legit. I mean, where it still can come back to haunt them is, let's say they play Seattle, or let's say even Minnesota. Let's say Minnesota can get their offense better. If they play a good defense in the playoffs, that's where no matter where the game is, it could be in Dallas, you still have a rookie quarterback that is going against the good defense, and that could be, that could take it away in the playoffs. But there's no question that Dak's going to get them into the playoffs, probably with 11, 12, and maybe as many as 13 wins. And if that's the case, they're powerful because they've got 2 MVP candidates. I mean, Prescott has to be an MVP candidate. I know that Elliott has to be an MVP candidate, and that offensive line should be an MVP candidate. But what it does, they have weaknesses on defense. Those 3 units, offensive line, quarterback, and halfback, hide their defensive deficiencies. But if they have to get into a little bit more of a shootout where their defense has to make the stops, that's where the problem comes in.
And Tony Romo, a quarterback, some other team next year?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'm trying to come up with a scenario, and it could be the Jets. I mean, the Jets may still take the tack that if they keep enough veteran players, they want one veteran to come in. But I think at the moment, and let's say Denver steps up and goes for him, I think it's either Chicago, New York Jets, or Romo staying as a backup quarterback in Dallas.
John Clayton, keep up the great work. Thanks so much for a few minutes here on Big Board Sports in Albany.